Hi, and welcome to another Couch Chat at CSE. We're here again with April, our loan trainer, and we've been talking with April about everything that goes into the car buying process, from the loan side of things to the dealer side of things. And we've gotten to the point where you're ready to sign on the dotted lines of your loan, of the car agreement, and you're ready to get in that car and go. But before you do that, we want to just kind of talk about a few things that you should expect or look for in the paperwork, in the car itself, and make sure that you're really getting into a good deal and a good car for you. So April, can you just tell us a few things that members should know or remember before they actually start signing for whatever that car is?
Sure. So there's always a good practice to double check that buyer's order or the purchase order that the dealership gives you. Make sure you know everything that's going into that deal. So check for hidden fees. Make sure you're verifying the add-on products that you want, whether you're getting them at the dealership or with us. Double check the original price of the vehicle as well as your trade-in value. So if you're trading a vehicle in, you want to make sure they're giving you what they said they would, but also that they're factoring in the payoff of the vehicle if you still have a loan on it. Because sometimes they might give you $10,000, but your vehicle payoff is $12,000. So you're automatically having that $2,000 to roll into the new purchase price. So kind of double checking that ahead of time before you finalize everything with the dealership or with us. And then when you're doing financing documents, if you choose not to finance with us, we understand that. We would love to have your business, but we realize sometimes the dealers, that's just who you go through. So when you're doing that, make sure you double check the financing documents you're signing at the dealership. A lot of times you'll originally talk about a term or a specific interest rate and a monthly payment that you're trying to stick in. And we've looked at a lot of buyer's orders after the fact where you're trying to refinance it with us. And we look at those original documents you have, and the member might say, oh, I did 72 months at 6%. But when I look at the documents, it might be 76 months at 8% because they push that term out to try and get you a monthly payment. So always make sure you double check those documents. Another important item when you're looking at those financing documents is to double check for early payoff fees. That's something that we don't have at CSE. You're always able to add extra or pay your loan off early without any form of penalty. Sometimes when you go through financing through the dealer, that lender might have a prepayment penalty where you will be charged a fee or a certain amount in interest total if you pay it off early. So that's definitely something you want to look at. Almost every lease through a dealership is going to have that there. So just pay attention to those specific things.
Final question to wrap things up. We've talked about a lot of different stuff, and there's certainly a lot that goes into the car buying process, a lot of stuff that maybe you didn't think about. What are just some final best practices or things that you see? Oftentimes, you've already said a few, but things that you see that you just want to make sure to hammer home to members to make that car buying process as good as possible?
Absolutely. So I think the first thing is make sure you test drive the vehicle. I have seen so many times where the members are super excited to get the new vehicle. They found what they want. It looks pretty in pictures and has all the gadgets they want, but they haven't test drove it. And we've had so many times where they'll go to the dealership, they test drive it, and something's wrong with the vehicle, or they don't like how the seat is because it's not comfortable or whatever. So it's really important to actually get in the vehicle and drive it to make sure you're looking at that. When you talk about trading in a vehicle, because that's a super common thing that we see, shop around, go to a couple different dealerships and see who's going to give you the most for your trade, because you definitely want to get as much credit for that vehicle as possible. And sometimes it's a few $100s, so that makes a big difference. And then just kind of be aware of the upsell at the dealership. I've seen it multiple times. It's even happened to me personally, where you go, you're looking at a Jeep and they say, oh, well, you're looking at this Jeep, the Jeep right beside it has X options, whether it's a sunroof or leather or heated seats. And you're like, it's only a couple thousand more. Do you want that one? So with that, it's easy to kind of be talked into that, but just kind of be firm in what you want and what you're willing to buy. Having that pre-approval ahead of time, you already know what that payment is and what that max loan amount is. And sometimes you can afford to do that upsell and get a nicer vehicle with more extras than what you originally planned. but there's other times where that's really going to put you over budget and could hurt you on a monthly basis. I think that it's a good idea as a best practice to look over the auto before you purchase it. If you're not specifically auto savvy, that's me, take someone with you that knows a little bit more about cars. Get on the ground and look underneath of it, check for the rust and damage underneath. It never hurts to try on a test drive, run it through a quick mechanic and have them take a look at it. You might have to pay a little bit for that, but it's something that might make you have a more sound purchase long term. And then just don't go outside of your comfort zone. Make sure you are 100% comfortable with what you're getting into, because that payment sticks with you for years. Most people do car loans for 5 and 6 years, so you are stuck with that payment. If you go more than that, it's easy to say, oh, well, I'll just stop eating out an extra 2 times a month. But in reality, it's probably not going to happen. So it's better to make a smarter purchase and kind of stick to your guns for what you want and not go upsale with that. So just kind of being an informed buyer. You can always have vehicles booked out ahead of time as well. So if you're looking at 3 vehicles, talk to one of our loan officers. We can run book values as long as we have the mileage, the VIN, and any options. So you know if you're going to overpay ahead of time or not. So sometimes doing that research on the front end helps you be a better buyer on the back end.
Perfect. Well, there's a lot to chew on in that video and all of these. So April, thank you for your time. The goal here is for you as a member or as a consumer to be as educated and as good of a buyer as possible. So thank you for your time. We hope you enjoy your car, and we'll see you on the next Couch Chat. Thanks.
Good luck.